You said something about comparing the belief that the afterlife, that there is this parallel between a belief that the afterlife is more important than belief here, um, is the same in mainstream religions versus what Heaven's Gate thought. And it's true. I once had someone say to me, I can't wait to die because then I'll go to heaven and be with God, which struck me as kind of strange. And all this leads me to ask, what is different about a group like Heaven's Gate than a mainstream religion that would cause them to take that step then to actually commit suicide?
I'm gonna let sort of people who witnessed it speak for themselves. I remember reading right after the events. I spent a lot of time looking at the religious press, what religious newspapers, magazines were saying in response to it, and most religious people rushed out and condemned and really othered Heaven's Gate and said, "Well, this is a cult, a dangerous cult. They were heretics. They believed in nonsense. They were nothing." There was one article, actually, there were two articles. There was one I read in Christian Science, in the Christian Science Monitor. It was an editorial, and the editorial said, "We shouldn't be so quick to judge because ultimately their theology is not so different from the rest of ours, where ours was Christian." And there was a very similar editorial. It was in the I'm blanking on which journal it was in, but it was a mainstream Protestant journal, and it was the same sort of, it was sort of an editorial which said it's really easy to reject them, but in fact the theology is not that different. Basically, they're saying that life on this earth is a tryout for the life to come, and that what's important is not so much succeeding in this life and ending up with a big house and a lot of money, but living your life in such a way that you merit entrance into this world to come.
Yeah.
And it was very few examples. I think there were only two, as I said, where I saw that. But I think that, to answer your question, what is the difference ultimately? The difference is nothing. The difference is that these are 39 individuals who tried to live their lives as best they could, tried to make sense of the world around them, tried to get through the pain and suffering and live with the joys that they encountered in their lives and find some sort of meaning. And ultimately what they found was a set of answers which said, you have to give up this life and you have to focus on getting into a heaven. And that's what they chose to do. And a lot of other people choose to do the same thing. It's just that they don't force the issue and commit suicide to get there.